Hey guys, tonight we're taking a very, very long journey. You're leaving the comfort of your warm bed and stepping back in time. All the way to the year 1325. We're not just going anywhere though. You're walking through the bustling, sun-baked streets of Tangier, a Moroccan port city that's probably not quite what you'd expect. The air is thick with the scent of spices and the murmur of 1,000 conversations in a dozen different languages. You hear the call to prayer from a distant minaret, a soft, hypnotic sound that echoes through the narrow alleyways. Your feet are on the dirt path, your mind is on the horizon, and you're getting ready to embark on a pilgrimage that, for most people, would be the only major trip of their entire life. But for you, for a young man named Ibn Battuta, this is just the beginning. This isn't one of those fast-paced historical adventures with battles and dramatic betrayals. No, this is a slow, winding journey, a gentle stroll through history where the most exciting part is the flavor of a new kind of food or the texture of a different kind of silk. We'll be moving at a pace that's perfect for letting your mind drift off, getting a little lost in the details. You'll be walking for hours on end, sleeping in tents under a blanket of stars, and meeting people from every corner of the known world. It's a trip that, frankly, you probably wouldn't survive in real life without getting incredibly bored or hopelessly lost. But tonight, you're safe, you're warm, and you're just listening. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let me know where you're listening from and what time it is, and we can all travel together. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Now, as you begin your walk, think about the person you are. You're Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Awati al-Tanji ibn Battuta. Don't worry, you don't have to remember all of that, but you do know your family. They're a long line of legal scholars and judges, a life path that was pretty much laid out for you from the day you were born. Your hometown of Tangier, with its strategic position on the Strait of Gibraltar, has always been a crossroads. It's a place where Africa meets Europe, where the Atlantic washes up against the Mediterranean. But you're not content to just study the law in a dusty room. Something is pulling you outward. It's a feeling of restlessness, a desire to see what's out there. The official reason, the one you tell your family, is the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. This is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, a duty for every Muslim who is physically and financially able to make the journey. It's a noble and respectable goal, one that no one can argue with, but in your heart, you know it's also an excuse, a way to open a door to the world, to take that first step. So, on June 14th, 1325, you say goodbye to your family. You leave Tangier alone, a 21-year-old traveler with a quiet ambition and a backpack that probably feels a lot heavier than it actually is. You're heading east, a direction that for centuries has been synonymous with adventure and the unknown. Your first stop is the city of Fez, a center of learning and trade. You walk for days, the Moroccan sun a warm weight on your shoulders. You meet other travelers on the road, some also heading for Mecca, others simply going from one town to the next for trade. There's a certain camaraderie that forms among people on the road. You share food, you share stories, you share the quiet moments of the long journey. You learn very quickly that a traveler's greatest asset isn't his money or his map, but his reputation. Word travels fast, and a kind-hearted traveler who shares what he has is always welcomed. A selfish one, not so much. This simple fact will become one of the foundational lessons of your life. This first leg of the journey, you're walking. It's slow, very, very slow. You're not on a fast train or a plane. You're on your own 2 feet, or occasionally a borrowed donkey. You have to stop when you're tired. You have to find water, and you have to navigate by the sun and the stars. And as you walk, you are surrounded by the sights and sounds of the Maghreb, the western part of North Africa, the rolling hills, the dry riverbeds, the small, sun-bleached villages. You're seeing a world that exists between the big, famous cities, a quiet world of farmers and local markets that most people never write about. Now, historians still debate whether Ibn Battuta kept a journal on this trip, or if his memories were all from dictation later in life. It's one of those things that will always be an open question, but it doesn't change the fact that this journey, this slow, deliberate process of putting one foot in front of the other, is what shaped him. It was a baptism by dust and sunlight, a real-world education that no law school could ever provide. You're about to learn more about the world than you ever thought possible, and you're doing it one step at a time. The rhythm of your footsteps on the dusty path is your new soundtrack, and it's a very, very peaceful sound. Your first major stop after leaving Fez is the city of Tlemcen, a vibrant Algerian city known for its beautiful architecture and a peaceful, scholarly atmosphere. You're still traveling with the caravan of pilgrims and merchants, a great flowing river of humanity and goods moving east. The journey so far has been slow, but not unpleasant. You're getting used to the quiet rhythm of the road, the creak of cartwheels, the low chatter of your fellow travelers, the rustle of your own clothes in the dry wind. It's a very meditative way to travel, one that most of us today probably couldn't handle. We're used to the constant stimulation of our phones and the instant gratification of a few clicks. You have none of that. You just have the road, the people you meet on it, and the thoughts in your own head. It's a great way to learn to be comfortable with yourself. You find yourself in a constant state of mild fascination. Everything is new and interesting. The way a merchant haggles over a single piece of cloth, the simple, heartfelt way a local family invites you in for a meal, the stories told around a flickering campfire at night. One of the quirky little details you notice is the way people use a kind of sundial carved into the ground to tell time. It's not a fancy watch, just a simple stick and the moving shadow it casts. It's a reminder that time, to most people, isn't something to be rushed. It's a thing you have, and you move with it at its own pace. This is a very important lesson, one that will serve you well on your travels. A historian might point out that this era of the Maghreb was surprisingly stable, a period of relative peace under the Marinid dynasty that made such a journey possible for a lone scholar. It wasn't a lawless wasteland. It was a functioning society, and you are a part of it, albeit a very temporary one. You continue on, and the landscape begins to change. The gentle hills give way to more rugged terrain. You pass through the city of Miliana, a small, quiet town, before reaching Algiers. The people here are a little different. The dialects slightly changed. It's a subtle shift, but one you notice. You're beginning to understand that the Arab world isn't one big, homogeneous place. It's a mosaic of different cultures, different traditions, and different ways of life, all connected by a shared language and religion, but still very distinct. It's a mainstream historical fact that the sheer diversity of the Islamic world in the 14th century was immense. a vast network of trade routes and intellectual centers that stretched from Spain to India. And you, a 21-year-old kid, are about to see most of it. Your journey takes you through the city of a major port city known as Bougie. This is where you encounter a whole new set of travelers, sailors and merchants who speak in strange tongues and carry goods from far-off lands you've only read about. You sit by the docks and watch the ships come in, their sails full and their holds heavy with cargo. You're beginning to feel a new kind of restlessness, a desire to see what's across the sea. You're on your way to Mecca, yes, but the world is getting bigger and bigger with every step you take. And this feeling of wanting to explore, to see what's just over the next hill or across the next body of water, it's not going away, it's getting stronger. Historians still argue whether this early part of his journey was more of a leisurely grand tour or a focused, single-minded quest to reach his destination. You feel like it's a bit of both. You're trying to be a serious pilgrim, but you can't help but be a curious tourist at the same time. You're taking detours, talking to everyone you meet, and just soaking it all in. Leaving you continue your trek along the coast. The Mediterranean Sea is a constant, shimmering presence on your left. It's a peaceful sight, a soft blue that stretches out to the horizon. You pass through the modern-day country of Tunisia, making your way to Tunis, a city that feels even bigger and more impressive than any you've seen so far. The city is a hub of commerce and scholarship. You're still traveling in a small caravan, but now it's made up of people from even further away. You hear stories about the Mamluk Sultanate in Egypt, about the riches of the Nile, and about the sheer size of Cairo. It's almost intimidating. But you remind yourself that you've come this far, and you're not turning back. You find yourself getting a little bit bored with the endless walking, the same slow pace, and the dusty roads. It's a good kind of boredom, though, a kind of mental blankness that allows you to just be present, to just exist in the moment without a million distractions. It's a good way to prepare for the long, long journey that still lies ahead of you. It's the kind of quiet solitude that's almost a luxury in our modern world. It is, perhaps, the ultimate travel hack. Just walk and see what happens. After a brief, quiet rest in Tunis, you rejoin the caravan and continue your journey eastward. You are now leaving the Maghreb and entering the ancient lands of Tripolitania, which is modern-day Libya. The landscape here is even more stark and unforgiving. The fertile coastal plains give way to a semi-arid region, and you begin to feel the true, relentless heat of the North African sun. Your skin, which was already tanned from the journey, starts to feel even more leathery. The sand gets into everything: your clothes, your food, your hair, but you don't mind. This is part of the experience. It's a physical challenge, yes, but also a mental one. You learn to appreciate the shade of a lone acacia tree and the simple, sweet taste of a small cup of water. It's a quiet form of survival, and you're getting very, very good at it. You arrive in the coastal city of Tripoli. The city, with its ancient Roman ruins and bustling port, is a testament to the long, long history of this region. You see merchants from Venice and Genoa, their ships filled with goods for the markets of Europe. You realize that your small, personal journey is part of a much larger, global network of trade and travel that has been happening for centuries. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people here have a unique way of preserving dates by burying them in the sand. It's a very practical solution to a very old problem. A simple elegant piece of local wisdom that you would have never learned from a book. It's these small moments of discovery that make the long, slow days of walking worth it. You are not just seeing the world, you are living in it. From Tripoli, you make the long, dusty trek to Alexandria, the famous Egyptian city on the Nile Delta. As you approach, you begin to see the signs of its ancient past, the remains of monuments that were once wonders of the world, like the Pharos Lighthouse, now stand as quiet, weathered sentinels. The air changes. It becomes more humid, and you can smell the sweet, earthy scent of the Nile River, the very lifeblood of this ancient land. You are moving from a world of sand to a world of water, a subtle but profound shift. Historians still argue whether the city's intellectual and cultural vibrancy had truly waned by the 14th century, or if it was still a bustling center of learning. But for you, it feels alive with history. You are walking on the same streets that Cleopatra and Alexander the Great walked on, and that thought sends a quiet shiver down your spine. Your next stop is the massive city of Cairo. You've heard stories, of course, but nothing can prepare you for its sheer size. It's a sprawling metropolis, a maze of narrow streets and crowded marketplaces. The sounds are overwhelming. The chatter of thousands of people, the braying of donkeys, the clatter of tools, the call to prayer from countless mosques. The scent of cooking food, of spices, of human activity is everywhere. It's a stark contrast to the quiet solitude of the desert, and it takes a moment to adjust. You feel small, a single drop of water in a vast ocean of humanity. You visit the city's major landmarks, the mosques, the schools, and the grand tombs. You meet with scholars and judges, members of your own profession, who welcome you with a quiet, polite curiosity. You learn about the complexities of Mamluk rule and the intricate social structure of the city. You also learn a rather strange fact, that the Mamluk Sultan, a man named Al-Malik An-Nasar, was an obsessive pigeon breeder who had a network of pigeon couriers to keep in touch with his far-flung kingdom. It's a fascinatingly quirky detail that reminds you that even the most powerful men are just people with their own strange hobbies. The time in Egypt is a crucial part of your journey. You are still on your way to Mecca, but you are also absorbing the culture, the history, and the quiet rhythm of this place. You're not in a hurry. You're taking your time, letting the world wash over you, and learning from every interaction. This is not a race. It's a slow, deliberate process of discovery. You are a tourist, a pilgrim, and a scholar, all rolled into one. And you're finding that the most interesting things in the world are not the famous landmarks, but the small, quiet, and often very weird details that you can only discover by slowing down and paying attention. You're learning that the Red Sea, which you'll soon cross, isn't just a body of water, but a vast and complicated highway of ancient trade, and you're about to be a part of it. The journey is just getting started, and you're ready for the next step. After absorbing the overwhelming life of Cairo, you find yourself ready to move on. The pace of the city, for all its wonder, is exhausting. You yearn for the quiet solitude of the open road again, the simple rhythm of travel. Your next step is to head east toward the Red Sea. You leave the lush delta behind and enter the desert once more. The air becomes dry and hot, and the landscape is an endless expanse of sand and rock. This part of the journey is a quiet one. The caravan is smaller now, mostly dedicated pilgrims making their way to the holy city. The conversations are quieter, more focused on spiritual matters and the long journey ahead. You learn to conserve water and energy, to walk in the cool of the morning and evening, and to rest during the blistering heat of the day. It's a very meditative process, this walking. One foot in front of the other, under the vast, unchanging sky. You finally arrive at the Red Sea port of Idhub. The name itself sounds like a sigh. The town is a sleepy place, a collection of simple buildings huddled against the sea. The water here is a deep, impossibly blue color, a striking contrast to the beige landscape. You realize that you're about to cross the sea, which is a new and exciting and slightly terrifying prospect. You've been a land traveler so far, and the sea is a whole different beast. You watch the small sailing vessels, called dhows, being prepared for their journey. They look fragile, their wooden hulls and simple sails at the mercy of the wind and waves. A quirky detail you notice is the way the sailors use a kind of sun-dried fish as a long-lasting, portable food source for their journeys. It's a very practical solution to the problem of keeping food fresh on a long sea voyage. It's not something you'd find in a city, but it's a vital part of life here. The sailing itself is a study in patience. The dhows are slow, and their speed is entirely dependent on the wind. Some days you glide along smoothly, the sound of the waves a gentle, hypnotic hush against the boat. Other days you are becalmed, sitting motionless on the glass-like surface of the water, the sun beating down relentlessly. You spend your time talking to the other passengers, listening to their stories. You hear about the great trade networks that link Africa to Arabia and India, a vast web of commerce that you are now a small part of. Historians still argue whether the Red Sea trade was more important than the land-based routes at this time. But for you, a traveler on a small wooden boat, it feels like the center of the world. You're learning that there is more than one way to get to your destination, and that sometimes the journey itself is the whole point. After what feels like a very long time, you arrive in the Arabian Peninsula, landing at the port of Jeddah. The air here feels different, drier, and even more sacred. You are now in the land of the Prophet, and the final leg of your pilgrimage is just a quiet walk away. You join a new caravan, this one even more focused and devout. The conversations are about faith, about the rituals you will perform, about the history of the holy city. You feel a sense of anticipation building inside you, a quiet hum of excitement. You're about to complete the goal you set out with almost a year ago. A mainstream historical fact is that the pilgrimage caravans to Mecca were not just religious groups, but also massive economic events, bringing together merchants, scholars, and pilgrims from all over the world, creating a bustling, temporary city of its own. The final trek to Mecca is filled with a sense of purpose. You are walking in the footsteps of millions of pilgrims before you. The landscape is rocky and barren, but you barely notice. Your mind is on the destination. You see the signs of your approach, the mountains in the distance, the changing architecture, and the increasing number of pilgrims on the road. The atmosphere is one of shared faith and quiet camaraderie. You've walked through deserts and cities, sailed across a sea, and now, finally, you're about to see the holiest city in the world. You remember that quiet feeling of boredom from the early days of your trip and realize that it has been replaced by a deep and abiding sense of peace. This journey, as long and slow as it has been, has changed you. It has taught you patience, resilience, and the quiet joy of discovery, and it has brought you, finally, to your destination. You are almost home in a spiritual sense, and the feeling is a very, very peaceful one. The air, as you approach Mecca is different. It's charged with a quiet energy, a collective sense of purpose that you can almost feel in your bones. The city itself appears in the distance, a collection of buildings nestled in a rocky valley. The closer you get, the more you see the narrow streets, the simple homes, all dressed in the same two pieces of simple white cloth, the ihram. This is the uniform of the pilgrim, a powerful equalizer that strips away all differences of wealth, status, and nationality. You are no longer Ibn Battuta, the scholar from Tangier. You are a single part of a vast, peaceful river of humanity, all moving toward the same center. You perform the rituals of the Hajj with a sense of quiet reverence. You circumambulate the Kaaba, the cube-shaped building at the center of the Grand Mosque, 7 times. The act is mesmerizing, a slow, gentle procession of people, all moving in perfect harmony. You touch the black stone, an ancient meteorite set into the corner of the Kaaba, and you feel a connection to all the pilgrims who have come before you, a chain that stretches back for centuries. You walk the 7 times between the hills of Safa and Marwa, a reenactment of Hagar's desperate search for water for her son Ishmael. And you stand on Mount Arafat, a vast plain where millions of people gather to pray and seek forgiveness. It's a powerful, deeply spiritual experience that makes the long journey, the hardships, and the moments of boredom all fade away into insignificance. What you notice most, though, are the small, human details, the quiet generosity of strangers who offer you food and water, the soft hum of prayers being whispered in a dozen different languages, the simple, kind smiles exchanged with people you will never see again. It's a testament to a mainstream historical fact. The Hajj has always been more than just a religious duty. It's a massive, peaceful gathering that fosters a unique kind of global community. It's a place where people from different cultures and backgrounds come together and find common ground. It's a reminder that beneath all the surface differences, we are all just people trying to make our way in the world. After the Hajj, you spend some time in Mecca. You sit in the Grand Mosque, listening to the sermons of the scholars. You visit the various sites of historical and religious importance. You are no longer on a journey to a destination. You are living in it, absorbing its rhythms and its quiet, peaceful energy. A quirky little detail you observe is the way the city's water supply is managed. It's a complex system of ancient wells and aqueducts that, in this harsh, arid climate, is a true feat of engineering. The water is precious, and every drop is treated with reverence. It's a very simple, practical, and beautiful thing to see. Now, historians still argue whether Ibn Battuta ever intended to go home after his Hajj. Was it always his plan to keep traveling, or was he simply so captivated by the world that he couldn't bring himself to stop? You, as you sit in the quiet corners of the Grand Mosque, feel the answer. The world is calling to you. The people you've met, the stories you've heard, the cultures you've briefly touched, they've all ignited a fire in you that a simple pilgrimage cannot quench. The Hajj has fulfilled its purpose. It has cleansed your spirit and given you a sense of peace. But it has also opened your eyes to a world that is so much bigger than you ever imagined. You think about your family back in Tangier, and a gentle pang of homesickness comes over you, but it's quickly replaced by a sense of quiet excitement. You've come this far, and the world is still out there. You've seen North Africa and Egypt and Arabia. But what about Persia? What about India? What about China? These are not just names in books anymore. They are real places with real people, and you now have the tools and the experience to go and see them for yourself. The thought is a very peaceful one. You are an explorer now, and the journey is just beginning. You're not just a pilgrim anymore. You are a witness to the world, and there is so much more to witness. The gentle hum of the city, the soft voices of the people, the quiet sense of purpose, it all fills you with a sense of calm resolve. You will not be going home just yet. With the Hajj now a peaceful and cherished memory, you make a decision that will change the course of your life forever. Instead of heading back to Tangier, you choose to go east again, this time toward the lands of Persia, or what is now Iran. You've heard stories of its ancient cities, its poets, and its magnificent gardens. The idea of going home and settling down just doesn't feel right anymore. There's a whole world out there waiting to be seen, and you've only scratched the surface. The thought of a quiet life as a judge in Tangier seems almost unbearable after the freedom of the open road. You travel in a new caravan, this one heading from Mecca to Baghdad. The journey is long and slow, a rhythmic parade of camels and people across the vast desert landscape of the Arabian Peninsula. The heat is relentless, but you're used to it now. You've learned to wrap your head in a protective cloth to ward off the sun and to ration your water with a quiet, careful patience. There's a unique and gentle camaraderie among your fellow travelers. You all share the same goal of reaching the next oasis, the next town, and the next horizon. You tell stories, you sing songs, and you pass the time with a peaceful sense of shared purpose. A mainstream historical fact about this region is that the Mongol invasions, which had devastated the Islamic world a century earlier, had left a lasting impact on the cities of Persia and Iraq. Many of the great libraries and centers of learning had been destroyed, and the political landscape was in constant flux. You are traveling through a world that is still rebuilding itself, a world that is a little bit broken, but is also resilient and determined to survive. This adds a quiet, melancholic layer to your journey. You see the ruins of ancient cities and feel the weight of history on your shoulders. You see the remnants of a once great civilization, and you are filled with a sense of quiet awe and respect. Your first major stop in Persia is the city of Isfahan. You've heard that it's a beautiful city, and it doesn't disappoint. It's filled with bustling markets, magnificent mosques, and stunning tiled buildings. The city's famous bazaar is a maze of smells, sights, and sounds. You can hear the rhythmic tap of metal workers, the soft hum of conversations in a dozen different languages, and the scent of spices and perfumes filling the air. It's a sensory experience, a quiet feast for the eyes and the nose. One of the quirky little details you notice is the way the local merchants use a kind of portable abacus for their calculations. A simple but elegant tool that allows them to do complex math with remarkable speed. It's a reminder that technology isn't just about grand inventions, but also about the small, clever things that make daily life a little bit easier. Historians still argue whether Ibn Battuta's travels through Persia were a significant part of his journey or simply a brief detour on his way to other places. For you, it feels like a necessary step, a way to see a different side of the world, to understand a culture that is both similar to and different from the one you grew up in. You're learning that the world is much more complex and nuanced than you ever imagined. You're not just a passive observer, you're a participant, a person who is actively engaging with the world and letting it change you. The quiet boredom of the desert is replaced by a gentle fascination with the new things you see every day. The journey is no longer just about reaching a destination. It's about the process of learning and growing, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues. From Isfahan, you continue your quiet, winding journey toward Baghdad. The landscape becomes even more varied now, with fertile plains giving way to rugged mountains and then to the flat, dusty lands of Mesopotamia. You are traveling with a small group of pilgrims and merchants, and the quiet camaraderie of the road is a comfort. The days are long and slow, filled with the simple tasks of setting up and breaking down camp, of walking for miles under the hot sun, and of sharing a simple meal with your fellow travelers. You're learning that life on the road is a series of small, peaceful rituals that bring a sense of order to the chaos of travel. You finally arrive at Baghdad, and the city, once the glorious center of the Islamic Golden Age, is a shadow of its former self. The devastation of the Mongol sack in 1258 is still visible, even 70 years later. You see the remains of grand libraries and palaces, now just quiet, broken ruins. It's a sad sight, a testament to the brutal reality of conquest and war. A mainstream historical fact is that the Mongol invasion of Baghdad was one of the most destructive events in medieval history, leading to the collapse of the Abbasid Caliphate and the end of Baghdad's status as a major intellectual hub. But as you walk through the streets, you also see signs of life. The city is not dead, it is simply sleeping. You find yourself drawn to the more peaceful corners of the city, the quiet tea houses where scholars and poets still gather, the small, bustling markets where life goes on. You see a quiet dignity in the people of Baghdad, a quiet resilience that has allowed them to survive and rebuild. You visit the remaining mosques and schools, and you see that while the great libraries may be gone, the love of learning is not. It's a quiet fire that still burns in the hearts of the people, a gentle flicker of hope in the face of immense loss. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people of Baghdad had a unique way of making ice in the winter by digging trenches and filling them with water, then covering them with straw to insulate the ice, which they would then use in the summer. It's a very clever and simple piece of technology, a quiet testament to human ingenuity. Historians still argue about the extent of Baghdad's recovery in the 14th century. Was it truly a vibrant, thriving city, or was it a place of quiet decline? For you, it feels like a place of quiet memory. You can almost hear the echoes of the city's former glory in the quiet hum of its streets. You can almost see the ghosts of the great scholars and poets who once walked these same paths. It's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of being a part of history, of walking in the footsteps of people who lived centuries ago. You realize that history isn't just a collection of grand events and famous names. It's a quiet, continuous story that is being written every single day by ordinary people. You spend a few weeks in Baghdad, resting and replenishing your supplies. You're in no hurry. The purpose of this trip is not speed, but experience. You sit in quiet courtyards, sipping tea and listening to the stories of the people you meet. You learn about the different sects of Islam, the different legal schools, and the different ways that people practice their faith. You are a sponge, soaking up every piece of knowledge and every story that comes your way. You are learning that the world is a complex and beautiful tapestry, and every single thread, no matter how small, has a story to tell. and you are a quiet, patient witness to all of it. You are now a seasoned traveler, and you're ready for the next leg of your journey. You will soon be heading toward the Arabian Peninsula again, but this time you will be exploring its hidden corners, its quiet oases, and its ancient tribal customs. The journey is continuing, and it's a very, very peaceful one. Leaving the quiet, melancholic peace of Baghdad, you begin your journey south into the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Arabian Peninsula. This is not a journey for the faint of heart. The land here is mostly desert, a silent, empty canvas of sand and rock under a relentless sun. You travel in a small, compact caravan, a group of pilgrims and merchants who are all heading toward different destinations, but who rely on each other for safety and companionship in this harsh environment. The days are a quiet, rhythmic repetition of walking, resting, and walking again. You feel a deep and abiding sense of peace in this silence. There are no distractions here, no bustling cities or crowded markets. There is only you, the sand, and the vast, beautiful sky. You learn the quiet, subtle language of the desert. You learn to read the shifting dunes, to recognize the tracks of animals, and to spot a distant oasis by the slightest hint of green. A mainstream historical fact is that the trade routes through the Arabian Peninsula were not just a single path, but a complex and shifting network of trails that had been used for centuries. The guides you travel with have a knowledge that has been passed down from generation to generation, a quiet, ancient wisdom that has allowed them to navigate this land for a very, very long time. It's a knowledge that is not written in books, but is etched into the memories of the people who live here. You encounter different Bedouin tribes, people who live a nomadic life and who have a deep and abiding respect for the desert. You are welcomed with a quiet generosity, and you are offered food and water, no questions asked. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Bedouin have a unique way of telling stories, not just with words, but with their hands and with their body language, a kind of silent ballet that is both beautiful and deeply expressive. It's a reminder that language is not just about words, but about the many different ways that people can communicate with each other. You also learn that they have a complex system of oral genealogies, a kind of living history book that allows them to trace their lineage back for hundreds of years. Historians still argue whether the Bedouin tribes were truly as welcoming to outsiders as Ibn Battuta describes, or if he was simply a very charismatic and well-regarded traveler. For you, it feels like a quiet, genuine hospitality, a simple understanding that in this harsh environment, you must rely on each other to survive. It's a peaceful feeling, this sense of quiet trust and shared humanity. You are learning that the world is a lot more connected than you ever imagined, and that people, no matter where they come from, are all just trying to get by. Your journey takes you through the desolate landscape of the Rub al-Khali, or the Empty Quarter, a vast, uninhabited desert that is one of the largest sand deserts in the world. The emptiness here is almost spiritual. It is a place of profound silence, a place where you can hear the quiet whisper of the wind and the gentle crunch of your own footsteps on the sand. It's a humbling experience, a reminder of just how small you are in the grand scheme of things, but it's also a very peaceful one. There are no worries here, no distractions, no noise. There is only the quiet rhythm of the journey, the gentle rise and fall of the dunes, and the vast, endless sky. You feel a sense of profound calm settling over you, a quiet acceptance of the world as it is. You are a small, insignificant part of a vast and beautiful universe, and that is a very, very peaceful thought. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next step, wherever it may take you. You are an explorer, a pilgrim, and a witness to the quiet beauty of the world. After the quiet, contemplative journey through the Arabian Peninsula, you arrive at the coast and prepare for a whole new kind of travel. The sea is calling again, and you're ready to answer. This time, you're not crossing a narrow strip of water like the Red Sea. You're preparing for a long, quiet sail down the coast of East Africa. The ships here are different from the ones you saw in the Mediterranean or the Red Sea. They are dhows with their distinctive triangular sails, a design that has been perfected over centuries to catch the steady monsoon winds. They are the quiet, elegant workhorses of the Indian Ocean, and you are about to become a passenger on one of them. The sea journey is a peaceful one. The waves are a gentle, hypnotic lullaby, and the wind fills the sails with a soft, steady hum. The days blend into each other, a slow, rhythmic repetition of sunrises and sunsets over the vast, shimmering surface of the ocean. You spend your time talking to the sailors and the other passengers, listening to their stories of the different ports they've visited and the different cultures they've encountered. You learn a lot about the sea, about the quiet wisdom of the winds, and about the deep, abiding respect that sailors have for the ocean. A mainstream historical fact is that the Swahili coast, which you are now sailing along, was a vital part of the Indian Ocean trade network, a bridge that connected Africa to Arabia, Persia, and India. This wasn't just a physical journey, it was a cultural one, and you are seeing it all unfold before your very eyes. You make a few stops along the way, in sleepy port towns, where the air is thick with the scent of spices and the sound of a dozen different languages. You see people with a fascinating blend of features, a testament to the centuries of intermarriage and trade between different cultures. You are seeing a world that is not a monolith, but a beautiful, messy, and fascinating mosaic. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people in some of these coastal towns have a unique way of building their houses out of coral stone, a simple but effective way of using the natural resources around them. It's a very clever and very peaceful way of coexisting with the environment. Historians still argue about the extent of Arab and Persian influence on the Swahili city-states. Was it a peaceful cultural exchange or a more dominant imposition of power? For you, a traveler, seeing it all for the first time, it feels like a quiet, harmonious blend. You see the Arabic script on the mosques, but you hear the Swahili language on the streets. You see the traditional Islamic clothing, but you also see the unique, colorful designs of the local people. It's a reminder that culture is not a static thing. It's a living, breathing thing that changes and adapts and blends with every new influence that it encounters. And you are a quiet, patient witness to it all. Your journey brings you to the port of Mogadishu, a city that, at this time, is at the height of its power and prosperity. It is a beautiful city, with magnificent coral stone houses and a bustling port. You are welcomed with a quiet generosity, and you are amazed by the wealth and the sophistication of the people. You see merchants from as far away as China and India, their ships filled with goods for the markets of Africa. You realize that you are not just a traveler anymore. You are a part of this vast, interconnected world, a small piece of a very large and very beautiful puzzle. The long, slow journey has brought you here to this moment, and you are filled with a sense of quiet gratitude. The peaceful rhythm of the sea journey, the gentle hum of the wind in the sails, and the quiet camaraderie of your fellow travelers, it all has a very, very soothing effect. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. From Mogadishu, your quiet, winding journey continues south along the East African coast. You are still traveling on a dhow, a gentle, elegant vessel that glides over the waves with a soft, hypnotic rhythm. The coastline is a stunning tapestry of white sand beaches, thick green jungles, and small, peaceful islands. You make a few stops along the way in other Swahili city-states, each with its own unique flavor and charm. There's Kilwa, a prosperous trading hub that has a magnificent palace, a testament to the wealth that is being generated by the Indian Ocean trade. There's Mombasa, with its grand mosque and its bustling markets. And there's Zanzibar, a sleepy island that is a quiet paradise of spices and coconuts. You are constantly in a state of quiet fascination. You are seeing a world that is so far removed from the one you grew up in. The people here are a blend of cultures, a mix of African, Arab, and Persian influences that is reflected in their language, their food, and their music. A mainstream historical fact is that these Swahili city-states were not just trading posts, but sophisticated urbanized societies with their own distinct culture, a true testament to the power of cultural exchange. They were a peaceful, harmonious blend of different traditions, and you are a quiet, patient witness to this incredible diversity. You take your time in each city, exploring the narrow streets, talking to the local people, and learning about their customs. You are welcomed with a quiet generosity, and you are constantly amazed by the kindness of strangers. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people in these coastal towns have a unique way of telling time, not just by the sun, but by the tides, which are a constant, rhythmic presence in their lives. It's a reminder that in different parts of the world, people use different tools to navigate their lives, and that there is a quiet, peaceful wisdom in listening to the rhythms of nature. Historians still argue about the exact origins of the Swahili people. Were they originally a single group or a blend of different peoples who came together over time? For you, it feels like a beautiful, continuous story. It feels like a testament to the power of human connection, a reminder that we are all a little bit of everything. You are no longer just a scholar from Tangier. You are a citizen of the world, a person who is learning and growing with every single step of your journey. The quiet boredom of the early days of your trip is now a distant memory, replaced by a deep and abiding sense of gratitude and fascination. After a few months of peaceful travel, you decide to turn around and head back north. You have seen a large part of the world, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a seasoned traveler now, and you know that the journey is never really over. It simply changes direction. You will soon be heading back toward Arabia, but this time you will be taking a different route, a quieter and more reflective one. You are ready to see the world from a different perspective, to explore its hidden corners and its quiet secrets. The gentle rhythm of the sea, the soft voices of the people, the quiet sense of purpose, it all fills you with a sense of calm resolve. You have a quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you have navigated the world so far, and you can continue to do so, one slow step at a time. The journey is continuing, and you are a quiet, peaceful witness to it all. The long, peaceful journey back up the coast of East Africa feels different this time. You're not a wide-eyed novice anymore, but a seasoned traveler. The sights and sounds you once found new and overwhelming now feel familiar and comforting. The gentle slosh of the waves against the hull of the dhow is a lullaby. The conversations with the sailors are old friends. You are in a quiet, reflective phase of your travels, contemplating all you have seen and all you have yet to see. Your destination this time is not Tangier, but Mecca. You have decided to make a second pilgrimage, a quiet, personal one that is not a requirement, but a deep spiritual desire. You feel a pull to return to the holy city, to reconnect with the place that started your great journey. It's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of homecoming, even if it's a spiritual one. You arrive in Jeddah and begin the final, quiet trek to Mecca, a path you have walked before, but that now feels like a very different journey. The air is still filled with a quiet reverence, but you are not just a pilgrim anymore. You are a pilgrim who has seen the world, who has traveled to its far-flung corners, and who is now returning to the center. The second Hajj is a more personal and reflective experience. You are not just following the rituals, you are living them. The crowds, which once felt overwhelming, now feel like a quiet, collective embrace. You see the faces of people from all over the world, and you realize that you have a shared experience with them, a shared sense of purpose. A mainstream historical fact is that many devout Muslims would make multiple pilgrimages in their lifetime, if they were able, seeing each one as a new opportunity for spiritual growth. For you, this second Hajj is a quiet act of gratitude. You are grateful for the journey, for the people you have met, and for the experiences you have had. You are a quiet, patient witness to the beauty of the world, and you are filled with a sense of peace. You spend more time in Mecca after the Hajj, sitting in the quiet corners of the Grand Mosque, reflecting on your life and your travels. You feel a sense of profound calm settling over you. You are a long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people of Mecca have a unique way of telling time by the shadows of the minarets, a simple but elegant way of staying connected to the natural world. It's a reminder that even in a bustling city, there is a quiet, peaceful rhythm to life that is always present if you just slow down and listen. Historians still argue whether Ibn Battuta's second pilgrimage was an intentional stop or a matter of convenience on his way to other destinations. You know in your heart that it was an intentional choice. It was a choice to stop, to reflect, and to reconnect with the spiritual center of your life. It was a peaceful moment of pause in a journey that had been full of movement. It was a way of grounding yourself before you took the next step. And what is the next step? You are not sure yet, but you know that the world is still out there with its quiet wonders and its beautiful secrets. The journey is continuing, and you are ready for the next adventure. You will soon be leaving the Arabian Peninsula, but you will be taking with you the quiet lessons of the desert, the peaceful rhythm of the sea, and the deep, abiding sense of spiritual purpose that you found in Mecca. It is a very, very peaceful feeling. You have a long, long way to go, and you are ready. After your second peaceful pilgrimage to Mecca, you once again choose not to return home. Your destination now is north, across the sea, to the lands of Anatolia, which is modern-day Turkey. You are a seasoned traveler now, and the journey across the sea is a familiar and comforting one. The ship is a small, quiet vessel, and you spend your time talking to the merchants and sailors, learning about the people and the culture of the lands you are about to visit. You're no longer just a spectator, You're an active participant in this quiet exchange of ideas and goods. You arrive on the coast of Anatolia, and the land feels different. It's a place of rugged mountains, rolling hills, and vast open plains. The air is cooler, and the scent of pine and cedar replaces the dry, dusty smell of the desert. You are in the lands of the Turks, a people who, a mainstream historical fact is, had a unique and deeply spiritual form of Islam that was intertwined with their nomadic traditions. It's a culture that is both familiar and new, a quiet blend of different traditions. You are constantly in a state of mild fascination, a gentle hum of curiosity that keeps you moving forward. You travel through a land that is a mosaic of different principalities, all ruled by different Turkish beys. There is no single, unified government, but a patchwork of different rulers. But what you notice most is the quiet, overwhelming hospitality of the people. You are constantly welcomed into homes, offered food and a place to rest, even by complete strangers. They are a generous people who see it as their duty to help a traveler. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is the existence of the Akis, or brothers, a kind of guild of young men who are organized to look after the welfare of travelers. They are a peaceful, quiet force for good in the world, and you are a grateful recipient of their generosity. Historians still argue about the true political situation in Anatolia during this time. Was it a land of constant conflict or a place of relative peace and stability? For you, a traveler on the ground, it feels like a place of quiet order and deep generosity. You are learning that the reality of a place is often very different from what you read in a book. It's a quiet lesson in humility, a reminder that the world is much more complex and nuanced than you ever imagined. And it's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of being a guest in a place where people are so genuinely kind. You travel to many different cities, including the beautiful city of Bursa. You visit the mosques, the schools, and the quiet bazaars. You spend your time talking to the scholars and the merchants, learning about the local customs and traditions. You're no longer just a tourist. You are a quiet, patient witness to a way of life that is so different from your own. The slow, rhythmic pace of your journey allows you to truly absorb the culture, to understand the quiet rhythms of daily life. The quiet boredom of the early days of your trip is now a distant memory, replaced by a deep and abiding sense of gratitude and fascination. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You have a long, long way to go, and you are filled with a sense of calm resolve. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. Section 13. Leaving the peaceful hospitality of Anatolia. You set your sights on a new, much more formidable destination, the lands of the Golden Horde. This is not a journey for the timid. You are traveling into the vast, open plains of what is now Russia and Central Asia, a land ruled by the descendants of Genghis Khan. You are no longer on a quiet, predictable pilgrim's path. You are in a land of nomadic tribes, of fierce warriors, and of a culture that is both deeply ancient and surprisingly sophisticated. The journey is long and slow, a rhythmic procession of your caravan across a seemingly endless steppe. The wind is a constant companion, a soft, whispering presence that rustles the tall grasses. You travel in a caravan that is now a mixture of merchants, travelers, and officials. The conversations are different here. They are about politics, about the power of the various khans, and about the quiet art of survival in a harsh and unforgiving land. A mainstream historical fact is that the Golden Horde, at this time, was one of the largest and most powerful empires in the world, stretching from the Balkans to Siberia. It was a true force of nature, and you are a quiet, observant guest in their land. You are constantly in a state of mild fascination, a gentle hum of curiosity that keeps you moving forward. You finally arrive at the camp of the Khan of the Golden Horde, a man named Aziz Beg Khan. The camp is not a permanent city, but a collection of magnificent yurts or nomadic tents that are set up in a vast, open field. The sheer size of the camp is breathtaking. It's a city on the move, a testament to the nomadic lifestyle of the Mongol people. You are granted an audience with the Khan, a powerful and imposing man who rules over a vast empire. You are treated with a quiet respect, a testament to the fact that you are a scholar and a traveler, a person who is not a threat but a source of knowledge. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Mongols have a unique way of making a kind of fermented milk called kumi, which is both a staple food and a potent alcoholic beverage. It's a reminder that every culture, no matter how harsh its environment, has its own unique way of finding joy and sustenance. Historians still argue whether the Mongols were truly the brutal, savage conquerors they are often portrayed as, or if they were also peaceful administrators who fostered trade and cultural exchange. You, as a person who is living among them, feel the truth is somewhere in the middle. You see the signs of their military might, but you also see the quiet hospitality of their people. You see their love of horses and their deep respect for the land. It's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of quiet observation, this understanding that the world is much more complex than you ever imagined. Your journey in the lands of the Golden Horde continues, and you find yourself in a very different kind of world. There are no grand mosques or ancient libraries here. There are only the vast, open plains, the quiet rhythm of the nomadic lifestyle, and the deep, abiding connection that the people have to the land. You are a quiet, patient witness to a way of life that is so different from your own, and you are filled with a sense of calm resolve. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You will soon be heading toward a new land, a new culture, and a new adventure, and you are filled with a sense of calm resolve. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. After a long, quiet stay in the Golden Horde, you find yourself at a crossroads. Your next destination is a matter of circumstance, not choice. The Khan's wife, a Byzantine princess named Bailan, has decided to return to her hometown of Constantinople. You, as a respected scholar and traveler, are asked to accompany her retinue. It's an unexpected and slightly thrilling turn of events, a whole new kind of adventure. You are no longer just a solo traveler. You are now a quiet part of a large, official diplomatic party. The journey is different now. It's more organized, more formal, and a little less free. But it also offers you a unique opportunity to see a part of the world that very few Muslims have ever seen. The journey to Constantinople is long and slow. You travel across the vast plains, through dense forests, and across cold, winding rivers. The air gets cooler as you move west, and the landscape changes from the open steppe to a more rugged, mountainous terrain. The conversations are different now. They are about courtly life, about the intricacies of diplomacy, and about the quiet, subtle differences between the Byzantine and Mongol cultures. A mainstream historical fact is that there was a surprising amount of diplomatic and commercial exchange between the Mongol and Byzantine empires, a testament to the interconnectedness of the 14th century world. You are a quiet, observant witness to this exchange, a bridge between two very different worlds. You find yourself in a constant state of mild fascination. You are seeing a world that is so different from your own, a world of grand churches, of intricate mosaics, and of a language that is completely foreign to you. You are constantly in a state of quiet curiosity, a gentle hum of wonder that keeps you moving forward. You are no longer just a traveler. You are an ambassador of sorts, a quiet representative of your own culture in a land that is a stranger to it. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Byzantines have a unique way of making a kind of clockwork mechanism that is powered by water, a very clever and very peaceful piece of technology. It's a reminder that every culture, no matter how different it may seem, has its own unique way of being ingenious. Historians still argue about the true nature of Ibn Battuta's relationship with the Byzantine princess. Was he just a simple escort, or was he a valued confidant and advisor? You know in your heart that it was a little bit of both. You are a scholar, and she is a woman who is far from her home. You share stories, you talk about your different worlds, and you find a quiet, mutual respect for each other. It's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of quiet connection with a person who is so different from you. A reminder that humanity is a universal language. You are learning that the world is a lot more connected than you ever imagined, and that people, no matter where they come from, are all just trying to get by. The journey continues, and you are filled with a sense of calm resolve. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. You will soon be arriving in Constantinople, a city that is a legend in your own culture, and you are filled with a sense of quiet anticipation. You are ready to see the grand churches, the magnificent palaces, and the bustling markets. The quiet boredom of the early days of your trip is now a distant memory, replaced by a deep and abiding sense of gratitude and fascination. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life, and that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. The sight of Constantinople, as you approach it, is breathtaking. The city rises from the sea in a quiet, majestic way, its great walls and domes and spires a testament to its long history. You are entering a city that is a legend in your own culture, a city that has been the capital of two great empires, the Roman and the Byzantine. It is a place where East meets West, where Christianity and Islam have a long, complicated, and often very peaceful history. A mainstream historical fact is that Constantinople, even in its 14th century decline, was still one of the largest and most magnificent cities in the world. You are a quiet, observant guest in this great city, a witness to its quiet beauty and its subtle signs of age. You are welcomed into the city with a certain amount of ceremony, as you are part of the Khan's retinue. The noise of the city is overwhelming at first, a mix of Greek, Latin, and a dozen other languages. But you soon get used to it, and you find a quiet rhythm to the city's chaos. You visit the grand churches with their magnificent mosaics and their soaring domes. The most impressive of them all is the Hagia Sophia, a building that, at this time, is still a church. You are awed by its sheer size and its quiet, spiritual beauty. You are a Muslim scholar, but you are also a man who appreciates beauty and art, and you are filled with a sense of quiet reverence for this magnificent building. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Hagia Sophia has a unique way of being lit, not just by candles, but by a series of oil lamps that are arranged in such a way as to create a kind of soft, ethereal glow. It's a very peaceful and very beautiful way of lighting a sacred space. You spend a few weeks in Constantinople, exploring the city and meeting with its people. You are constantly in a state of quiet curiosity, a gentle hum of wonder that keeps you moving forward. You visit the markets, where you see goods from all over the known world. You see spices from India, silk from China, and furs from Russia. You realize that this city is a central hub in a vast global network of trade and travel, a kind of silent engine that powers the world. You are a quiet, patient witness to this, a person who is seeing a world that is much more interconnected than you ever imagined. Historians still argue about the true nature of Ibn Battuta's time in Constantinople. Was he truly a respected guest, or was he viewed with suspicion as a foreigner and a Muslim? You know in your heart that it was a mix of both. You are a guest of a powerful princess, but you are also a stranger in a strange land. You are treated with a quiet politeness, but you also feel a sense of otherness. It's a very peaceful feeling. This sense of being an outsider, a person who is observing a culture from a distance. It gives you a unique perspective, a kind of quiet wisdom that you would have never gained otherwise. Your journey continues, and you are filled with a sense of calm resolve. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. You have seen the great cities of the Islamic world, and now you have seen the great city of the Christian world. You have seen how people are both different and the same, and you are filled with a sense of quiet gratitude. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. Leaving the majestic city of Constantinople, you set your sights on a new and even more daunting destination, India. This is a journey that will test your patience, your resilience, and your quiet determination. You are no longer traveling in a large caravan or a royal retinue. You are on your own again, or at least with a small group of merchants and sailors. As you make your way to the coast and prepare for a very, very long sea voyage, the journey to India is a long and slow one, a rhythmic repetition of days and nights on the open sea. You are sailing across the vast, shimmering expanse of the Indian Ocean, a body of water that is a world unto itself. The ships you travel on are different from the dhows you saw in the Red Sea. They are larger, sturdier vessels, designed to withstand the long, rough passage across the open ocean. You spend your time on deck, watching the stars at night and the endless blue of the water during the day. The sound of the waves is a gentle, hypnotic lullaby, and the wind in the sails is a soft, constant hum. A mainstream historical fact is that the Indian Ocean Trade Network was the largest and most dynamic in the world at this time, connecting a vast array of cultures and economies from Africa to China. You are a small, quiet part of this vast network, a single traveler on a great river of commerce and culture. The journey is not without its challenges. You encounter storms, days of relentless rain and wind that make the ship feel like a small toy in a vast bathtub. You are forced to stop in various ports along the way, some of them peaceful and welcoming, others a little bit more dangerous. But you are a seasoned traveler now, and you have learned to be patient, to be quiet, and to be observant. You have learned that the world is a lot more complex than it seems, and that every single place, no matter how small or how remote, has a story to tell. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the sailors on these ships have a unique way of navigating by using a kind of astrolabe that is specifically designed for the Indian Ocean, a very clever and very peaceful piece of technology. It's a reminder that ingenuity is a universal language, and that people all over the world are constantly finding new and clever ways to solve old problems. Historians still argue about the exact route Ibn Battuta took across the Indian Ocean. Did he make a single, long journey, or did he stop in many different ports along the way? You know in your heart that it was a long, winding, and very slow journey. You were in no hurry. The purpose of this trip was not speed, but experience. You wanted to see the world, to talk to its people, and to learn its secrets. You wanted to be a quiet, patient witness to all of it, and that is a very, very peaceful feeling. After months of travel, you finally arrive on the coast of India. The air changes. It becomes warmer and more humid, and you can smell the scent of spices and flowers. The landscape changes too. The dry, arid coast gives way to a lush, green jungle. You are in a new land, a new world, and you are filled with a sense of quiet anticipation. You have a long, long way to go, and you are ready for the next adventure. You will soon be arriving in the city of Delhi, a city that is the center of a vast and powerful empire, and you are filled with a sense of calm resolve. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. Your arrival in Delhi, the bustling capital of the Delhi Sultanate, is a quiet shock to the system. After the slow, peaceful rhythm of the sea, the city is a cacophony of sights, sounds, and smells. The streets are crowded with people, animals, and carts, and the air is thick with the scent of spices, flowers, and the dust of 1,000 different lives. The city, even from a distance, is magnificent. Its mosques and palaces are grand and imposing, and its markets are a dazzling display of goods from all over the world. A mainstream historical fact is that the Delhi Sultanate, under the rule of Sultan Muhammad bin Tughluq, was one of the most powerful and prosperous empires in the Islamic world, a true testament to the quiet power of centralized rule. You are a quiet, observant guest in this great city, a witness to its quiet beauty and its subtle signs of age. You are not just a traveler here. You are a scholar, and your reputation has preceded you. You are granted an audience with the Sultan, a man who is both a brilliant scholar and a ruthless ruler. The court is a place of grand ceremony and quiet danger. The Sultan is a man of moods, a person who can be both incredibly generous and incredibly cruel. He is a man who values knowledge and learning, and you find yourself in a constant state of quiet fascination, a gentle hum of curiosity that keeps you moving forward. You are no longer just a tourist. You are a person who is living in a world of high stakes and quiet intrigue. You are appointed as a Qadi or judge in Delhi. This is a very prestigious position, and it comes with a great deal of responsibility. You are now a part of the Sultan's court, a person who is a part of the legal and political machinery of the empire. You spend your days in the court, listening to cases and making judgments. It is a quiet, contemplative job, a stark contrast to the chaotic energy of the city. You are constantly learning, constantly absorbing new information, and constantly trying to make sense of a world that is both incredibly complex and incredibly beautiful. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Sultan has a unique way of keeping track of time by using a kind of water clock that is powered by a small, floating boat. It's a very clever and very peaceful piece of technology. It's a reminder that even in a court that is filled with intrigue and danger, there is a quiet, rhythmic presence of order and ingenuity. Historians still argue about the true nature of Ibn Battuta's relationship with the Sultan. Was he truly a trusted advisor, or was he just a political pawn in a dangerous game? You know in your heart that it was a mix of both. You are a respected scholar, but you are also a stranger in a strange land. You are treated with a quiet politeness, but you also feel a sense of otherness. It's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of being an outsider, a person who is observing a culture from a distance. It gives you a unique perspective, a kind of quiet wisdom that you would have never gained otherwise. Your time in Delhi is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. You have seen how power and knowledge can be both a blessing and a curse, and you are filled with a sense of quiet gratitude. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. Your life as a Qadi in Delhi is a strange mix of luxury and quiet tension. You are a man of high status now, with servants and a comfortable home provided by the Sultan. The food is exquisite, the clothing is magnificent, and the opportunities for learning and discussion are endless. You are at the center of a great empire, and you are privy to its inner workings. But beneath the surface, there is a constant, low hum of danger. The Sultan, a mainstream historical fact was known for his extreme and unpredictable behavior. He could reward you with a magnificent gift one day and have you executed for a minor offense the next. This creates a quiet, subtle anxiety that never quite leaves you. You are a person who has to be constantly vigilant, constantly aware of the political currents that are swirling around you. It's a very peaceful seeming life, but it's built on a foundation of quiet peril. You spend your days in court, making judgments on matters of law and life. The cases you hear are often strange and complex, and they require a deep understanding of both Islamic law and local custom. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Sultan's court has a unique way of dealing with legal disputes by using a kind of silent arbitration, where the two parties and the judge sit in a room without speaking, and the judge makes a decision based on their body language and their demeanor. It's a very clever and very peaceful way of resolving conflicts, but it's also a testament to the Sultan's subtle and often bizarre way of doing things. Your life in Delhi is a continuous process of learning and growth. You are learning about the complexities of power, the subtle art of diplomacy, and the quiet ways in which people navigate a world that is both incredibly beautiful and incredibly dangerous. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You have a new family of friends and colleagues, and you are a part of a community that is both incredibly diverse and incredibly interconnected. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. Historians still argue about whether Ibn Battuta's time in Delhi was a success or a failure. Did he truly thrive in the Sultan's court, or was he a person who was always on the verge of falling out of favor? You know in your heart that it was a mix of both. You are a respected scholar, but you are also a person who is constantly on the move, a person who is not meant to stay in one place for too long. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to a world that is both incredibly vibrant and incredibly volatile, and you are filled with a sense of quiet gratitude for the opportunity to have seen it all. Your time in Delhi is a period of quiet reflection. You are a person who has seen the world, and you are now a person who is a part of it. You are no longer just a traveler. You are a person who is living in a world of high stakes and quiet intrigue. But you are also a person who has found a new sense of purpose, a new way of being in the world. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. The quiet tension of your life in Delhi has finally reached a breaking point. You have been in the Sultan's service for several years, and while the life is luxurious, it is also incredibly dangerous. You have seen too many people fall out of favor, and you have heard too many stories of quick and brutal justice. You have a quiet, unsettling feeling that your time in Delhi is coming to an end. This is a very peaceful feeling, this sense of knowing that it is time to move on, to find a new adventure, a new place to be. You have a quiet, desperate need to leave, to find a way out of this gilded cage. Your opportunity comes when you are chosen by the Sultan to lead a diplomatic mission to China. This is a great honor, but it is also a very dangerous one. You will be traveling with a large retinue of ambassadors and servants, and you will be carrying a great deal of valuable gifts for the Chinese emperor. The journey is long and fraught with peril, and you are filled with a quiet sense of both excitement and fear. A mainstream historical fact is that diplomatic missions between the Delhi Sultanate and the Yuan dynasty were common, as they were both great powers in the 14th century. And they had a long history of trade and cultural exchange. You are a quiet, observant witness to this exchange, a bridge between two very different worlds. Your journey begins with a long, slow trek to the coast. You are traveling with a large caravan, and the journey is a quiet, rhythmic repetition of days and nights on the open road. You are constantly on the move, constantly vigilant, but you are also filled with a sense of quiet joy. You are free again. You are on the road, and the world is your home. You are no longer just a judge in a dangerous court. You are an explorer, a traveler, a person who is constantly seeking new adventures. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Sultan's court has a unique way of communicating with its far-flung outposts by using a system of relay runners. A very clever and very peaceful way of staying connected in a vast empire. Historians still argue about the true reason why Ibn Battuta was chosen for this mission. Was he a trusted advisor, or was he a person who the Sultan was trying to get rid of? You know in your heart that it was a mix of both. You are a respected scholar, but you are also a person who is a potential threat. A person who has seen too much and who knows too much. It's a very peaceful feeling, this sense of being a person who is both valued and feared, a person who is constantly on the move. The journey to the coast is a long, winding, and very slow one. You are in no hurry. The purpose of this trip is not speed, but experience. You are learning about the world. You are talking to its people, and you are learning its secrets. You are a quiet, patient witness to all of it, and that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You will soon be leaving the land of India, but you will be taking with you the quiet lessons of the Sultan's court, the peaceful rhythm of the open road, and the deep, abiding sense of spiritual purpose that you found in Mecca. It is a very, very peaceful feeling. You have a long, long way to go, and you are ready for whatever comes next. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. The long, slow journey from Delhi to the coast is a peaceful one. A rhythmic procession of your caravan across a vast and beautiful landscape. You are in a different part of India now, a place of lush forests and winding rivers. The air is warm and humid, and the scent of the jungle is everywhere. You are constantly on the move, constantly vigilant, but you are also filled with a sense of quiet joy. You are free again. You are on the road, and the world is your home. You are no longer just a judge in a dangerous court. You are an explorer, a traveler, a person who is constantly seeking new adventures. Your journey takes you to the port of Calicut, a bustling and prosperous city on the southwestern coast of India. The port is a microcosm of the Indian Ocean trade network, a place where ships from all over the world come to trade. You see merchants from China, from Persia, from Arabia, and from Africa, all speaking a different language and all carrying a different kind of cargo. It's a vibrant, chaotic, and incredibly beautiful place, a testament to the quiet power of commerce and cultural exchange. You are preparing to board a ship for China when tragedy strikes. A storm comes out of nowhere, a violent and sudden tempest that wreaks havoc on the port. Your ship, a large and sturdy vessel, is destroyed. The gifts you were carrying for the Chinese emperor are lost. The men you were traveling with are scattered, some of them lost to the sea. You are left with nothing but the clothes on your back and a deep, abiding sense of loss. You are a person who has lost everything, and you are filled with a quiet sense of grief. This is a very peaceful feeling, this sense of being a person who has nothing left to lose. It is a kind of quiet freedom, a sense of being unburdened by the material world. You are no longer a diplomat or a judge or a man of high status. You are just a traveler, a person who is trying to make their way in the world. You have a long, long way to go, and you are ready for the next adventure. You will soon be leaving the land of India, but you will be taking with you the quiet lessons of the Sultan's court, the peaceful rhythm of the open road, and the deep, abiding sense of spiritual purpose that you found in Mecca. It is a very, very peaceful feeling. You have a long, long way to go, and you are ready for whatever comes next. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. The loss of your ship and the Sultan's gifts is a setback, but it also gives you a quiet, unexpected freedom. You are no longer bound by your diplomatic mission. You are now free to explore the world on your own terms. Your new destination is the Maldives, a peaceful island archipelago that you have heard about from the sailors and merchants in Calicut. The journey there is a short, quiet one, a rhythmic procession of your small ship across the calm, blue waters of the Indian Ocean. The islands themselves are a vision of peace, a collection of small green jewels set in a vast blue sea. The air is warm and humid, and the scent of coconuts and the sea is everywhere. You are a person who has found a quiet, peaceful paradise, and you are filled with a sense of gratitude. You arrive in the capital of the Maldives, an island that is home to the Sultan and his court. The people here are a mix of different cultures, a blend of Arab, Indian, and Sri Lankan influences that is reflected in their language, their food, and their music. A mainstream historical fact is that the Maldives at this time was a prosperous trading hub for cowrie shells, which were used as currency throughout Africa and Asia. It was a quiet, unassuming power in the world, and you are a quiet, observant guest in their land. You are constantly in a state of mild fascination, a gentle hum of curiosity that keeps you moving forward. You are welcomed into the Maldives with a quiet generosity, and you are offered a position as a qadi, a judge, in the Sultan's court. This is a very prestigious position, and you accept it with a sense of quiet gratitude. You are a person who has lost everything, and you have been given a new sense of purpose, a new way of being in the world. You spend your days in the court, listening to cases and making judgments. It is a quiet, contemplative job, a stark contrast to the chaotic energy of the Sultan's court in Delhi. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people of the Maldives have a unique way of making a kind of rope out of coconut fibers. A very clever and very peaceful piece of technology. It's a reminder that ingenuity is a universal language, and that people all over the world are constantly finding new and clever ways to solve old problems. You also get married several times. This is a very different kind of social life from the one you are used to. The marriages are short and informal, and they are a way of becoming a part of the local community. You are a person who is constantly on the move, and you have found a way of creating a temporary home wherever you go. It is a very peaceful feeling, this sense of being a person who is both a traveler and a person who has a sense of belonging. Historians still argue about the true nature of Ibn Battuta's time in the Maldives. Was he a beloved judge, or was he a person who was always on the verge of falling out of favor? You know in your heart that it was a mix of both. You are a respected scholar, but you are also a person who is an outsider, a person who is constantly learning and constantly adapting. It's a very peaceful feeling. This sense of being a person who is both valued and a person who is constantly on the move. A person who is constantly seeking new adventures. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. Your time in the Maldives comes to an end, not with a quiet sense of departure, but with a renewed sense of purpose. You are once again given a diplomatic mission. this time by the Sultan of the Maldives, to travel to China with a gift of valuable coral and coconuts. The journey is long and slow, a rhythmic procession of your ship across the vast blue waters of the Indian Ocean. You are in a different kind of world now, a world of small islands and vast oceans. The air is warm and humid, and the scent of coconuts and the sea is everywhere. You are a person who has found a quiet, peaceful paradise, and you are filled with a sense of gratitude. Your journey takes you to the island of Ceylon, which is modern-day Sri Lanka. The island is a magnificent place, with lush forests, ancient temples, and a quiet, contemplative atmosphere. You visit a temple on a mountain, where you are told that the footprint of the Buddha is preserved. A mainstream historical fact is that Sri Lanka, at this time, was a major center for Buddhist pilgrimage, and it was a place where people from all over the world came to seek spiritual enlightenment. You are a quiet, observant guest in this land, a witness to its quiet beauty and its subtle signs of age. You continue your journey to Sumatra, a large island in what is now Indonesia. The island is a place of dense jungles, active volcanoes, and a quiet, contemplative atmosphere. You visit a temple on a mountain where you are told that the footprint of the Buddha is preserved. A mainstream historical fact is that Sri Lanka, at this time, was a major center for Buddhist pilgrimage, and it was a place where people from all over the world came to seek spiritual enlightenment. You are a quiet, observant guest in this land, a witness to its quiet beauty and its subtle signs of age. You also visit the city of Samudra, a peaceful trading hub that is home to a magnificent mosque. The people here are a mix of different cultures, a blend of Arab, Indian, and Chinese influences that is reflected in their language, their food, and their music. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people of Sumatra have a unique way of telling time by using a kind of sundial that is specifically designed for the equatorial regions. A very clever and very peaceful piece of technology. It's a reminder that ingenuity is a universal language, and that people all over the world are constantly finding new and clever ways to solve old problems. Historians still argue about the exact route Ibn Battuta took across the Indian Ocean to China. Did he make a single long journey, or did he stop in many different ports along the way? You know in your heart that it was a long, winding, and very slow journey. You were in no hurry. The purpose of this trip was not speed, but experience. You wanted to see the world, to talk to its people, and to learn its secrets. You wanted to be a quiet, patient witness to all of it. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. After a long, slow sea journey, you finally arrive in China. The sight of the country's southern coast is a quiet revelation. The land is lush and green, with terraced fields and peaceful fishing villages dotting the coastline. The air is warm and humid, and the scent of rice and tea is everywhere. You are in a different kind of world now, a world of ancient traditions and a quiet, contemplative way of life. You are filled with a sense of quiet anticipation, a gentle hum of curiosity that keeps you moving forward. You arrive in the port city of Zaytan, which is modern-day Chuanzhou. The city is a bustling and prosperous hub of commerce, a testament to the quiet power of trade. You see ships from all over the world, their sails filled with goods for the markets of China and beyond. You see people from all over the world speaking a dozen different languages and wearing a dozen different kinds of clothing. It's a vibrant, chaotic, and incredibly beautiful place, a microcosm of the world's interconnectedness. A mainstream historical fact is that Zaytun, at this time, was one of the largest and most cosmopolitan ports in the world, a true testament to the quiet power of commerce and cultural exchange. You are a quiet, observant guest in this great city, a witness to its quiet beauty and its subtle signs of age. You spend a few weeks in Zaytun, exploring the city and meeting with its people. You are constantly in a state of quiet curiosity, a gentle hum of wonder that keeps you moving forward. You visit the mosques, the temples, and the quiet gardens. You see how the Chinese people live their lives with a sense of quiet grace and a deep respect for tradition. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the Chinese have a unique way of making a kind of paper money, which is both a very clever and very peaceful way of conducting commerce. It's a reminder that ingenuity is a universal language, and that people all over the world are constantly finding new and clever ways to solve old problems. Historians still argue about the true extent of Ibn Battuta's travels in China. Did he truly travel all the way to Beijing, or did he only see the coastal cities? You know in your heart that your journey was a long, winding, and very slow one. You were in no hurry. The purpose of this trip was not speed, but experience. You wanted to see the world, to talk to its people, and to learn its secrets. You wanted to be a quiet, patient witness to all of it. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. Your time in China is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. You have seen how people are both different and the same, and you are filled with a sense of quiet gratitude. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next. Your journey continues north, and you decide to travel not by sea, but by the quiet, peaceful currents of China's Grand Canal. This is a very different kind of travel from what you're used to. It's slow and deliberate, a rhythmic procession of your small boat through a landscape of rice paddies and peaceful villages. The air is warm and humid, and the scent of the water and the land is everywhere. You are in a different kind of world now, a world of ancient traditions and a quiet, contemplative way of life. You are filled with a sense of quiet anticipation, a gentle hum of curiosity that keeps you moving forward. The Grand Canal, a mainstream historical fact, was one of the greatest engineering feats in human history. It was a kind of silent engine that powered the country's economy. You see how the people live their lives with a sense of quiet grace and a deep respect for tradition. You see the farmers working in the fields, the fishermen casting their nets, and the merchants haggling over prices. It's a vibrant, chaotic, and incredibly beautiful place, a microcosm of the world's interconnectedness. You spend a few weeks on the canal, traveling at a slow, peaceful pace. You are constantly in a state of quiet curiosity, a gentle hum of wonder that keeps you moving forward. You visit the small villages and towns along the way, where you are welcomed with a quiet generosity. A quirky little tidbit you pick up is that the people on the canal have a unique way of communicating with each other by using a kind of silent language, a series of hand gestures and facial expressions that is both beautiful and deeply expressive. It's a reminder that language is not just about words, but about the many different ways that people can communicate with each other. Historians still argue about the true extent of Ibn Battuta's travels in China. Did he truly travel all the way to Beijing, or did he only see the coastal cities? You know in your heart that your journey was a long, winding, and very slow one. You were in no hurry. The purpose of this trip was not speed, but experience. You wanted to see the world, to talk to its people, and to learn its secrets. You wanted to be a quiet, patient witness to all of it. And that is a very, very peaceful feeling. Your time in China is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life. You are a long, long way from home, but you are not lonely. You are a citizen of the world, and the world is your home. You have seen how people are both different and the same, and you are filled with a sense of quiet gratitude. The journey is a continuous process of learning and growth, of opening your mind to new ideas and new ways of life, and that is a very, very peaceful feeling. The journey continues, and you are ready for the next adventure. You are a quiet, peaceful witness to the beauty of the world, and you are ready for whatever comes next.